Hey everybody, this is Workforce Gaming. I'm Doug, along with Brad.
Hello.
And Brad got an Xbox One a while back, so we're kind of going through the backlog of Xbox One games and covering some of the ones that we actually haven't. One of those games I
I
have
feel like we
been.
start every Xbox video with that exact same line. Like, oh yeah, Brad just got an Xbox One. Like, it's been like 5 months at this
Well, we need an
point.
explanation for why we're talking about Sunset Overdrive like a year and a half later.
I guess that's a fair point because it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Sunset Overdrive was a.
People know what Sunset Overdrive is.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, but it's like a game that both me and you are both highly interested in when getting an Xbox. I mean, it's the only
Oh,
game I
yes.
want for Xbox. Because I am a huge Ratchet and Clank fan, and you just recently played Ratchet and Clank fan. You're just recently played Ratchet and Clank for the first time, so I'm actually really curious how you feel about this one, having played the new Ratchet and Clank PS4 and kind of going backwards to Sunset Overdrive, and me being a Ratchet and Clank fan and being super excited for Sunset Overdrive and not being able to play it.
Yeah, this is adult Ratchet and Clank.
Ah,
That's pretty much what this is. This is like Ratchet and Clank geared for not even necessarily adults, but like people over the age of 16.
mm,
It feels very similar mechanically in terms of everything that you're doing in the game. Feels very similar where it's got those platform elements. It's got that crazy different types of weapons, gunplay. It's got melee stuff. Everything in this feels like they kind of lifted the ideas from Ratchet and Clank and put it into a different style of game.
but I mean, you say that, but like I get the weapons comparison. Like that to me makes sense. But like when I saw they were advertising this game as like this open world, you can jump anywhere, like an open world platformer is kind of weird. Like that's not something that's normal. Crackdown might be the only open world platformer. I guess Mirror's Edge
Definitely
too.
feels a lot like Crackdown. Definitely a lot. Yeah, I think that'd be a good comparison. If you took Crackdown and Ratchet and Clank and kind of mixed them all up, you'd get Sunset Overdrive.
With a weird. People didn't like the vibe. Did you? Did you...
I loved it.
I was curious about it because I remember when I was reading reviews because I was super into it. Like I can understand like even if people who didn't like it, I'm sure they got it. But there's just people that vibe does not gel with them. But there's something about that vibe that's like very kind of douchebaggy hipstery, but like having fun sort of thing. I don't know. It looked cool.
That's exactly what it is, and I think it's that you need to go in knowing there's kind of this element of just it's gonna be dumb stuff in this, and there were a couple like like those moments where it's like, oh god, you're trying way too hard with this. But there's a couple other like genuinely funny moments. The game plays it plays very much if you played like Deadpool or you're aware of Deadpool as a character. It plays
Oh,
very much as that like fourth wall breaking character where it's like, oh, good thing this is a video game because I'm gonna disappear off screen for a minute and then be on the other side of the world. See you there.
oh, that's
Like
cool.
lots of that kind of stuff. Like lots of that fourth wall breaking things.
hmm
Just lots of that. This is a video game, so this is gonna happen now. Accept it.
Does it come off as like fun though? Because like sometimes it can just come off like really poorly. I think there's games that have tried to do it. Like Mad Hazard is probably the one that comes like right off the bat that just like it's bad at doing that. Is it good at doing that? Like is the joke there? It's like okay, that's kind of funny.
I mean, maybe it's just me because I never like Matt Hazard. Not a great game, but did enjoy my time playing Matt Hazard several years ago.
mm,
But no, it comes off much better than that. It comes off as again like my app description is Deadpool, where it knows what it's
mm,
doing and it does it well. It's there's a couple of those scenes where like, okay, yep, we get it, ha 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 ha.
mm.
But for the most part, it is very much like, oh, yep, okay, that's a keen observation that you just made there, game. Like the one about there's one specific one where you're talking to a character. She's like, okay, this is a cutscene, so now you're gonna go back to gameplay, and I'm gonna be nowhere around you. See you
Oh.
later. Like it's that like that if you've played enough video games you're gonna catch these little in jokes and these little like kind of jabs at how video games do
Mhm.
things. I didn't really come off as douchey or bad or whatever to me. It came off as okay, this is just kind of a fun silly game, and that's kind of what it was. It was a great just I played it over the course of like 2 weeks because I've been crazy busy the last couple of weeks, so I kind of played it like an hour here, an hour there over a couple of weeks, interspersed with Madden and some other things.
Mhm.
So it's a very good like just I'm gonna put this in for an hour, enjoy my time, come back to it in a day, put
Mhm.
in a half hour, take a day or two, that kind of thing. I don't think I ever sat down with this game for more than 2 hours, and I could see if you were trying to put this out on a Saturday and going, okay, I'm gonna run through this whole thing. it could probably get old much, much quicker.
Yeah, so like I mean, compared to Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank, I feel like I like freaking flew through that game because I was enjoying it so much. But you're saying like this is one of those games that can, if you can feel repetitive, because I don't, because I think there's a lot of comparisons to Ratchet and Clank. Clearly, it's from the same developer. It has a lot of the same DNA, but it doesn't seem as like narrative heavy from what I understand. So it doesn't really have that. It's like completely reliant on the gameplay. So it's maybe not. It kind of gets in that cyclical of like you upgrade your weapons. Okay, I got a new weapon. I got to upgrade that weapon, and
Yeah, it falls into the I don't know. I'm not a big fan of open world gameplay, and this one really emphasizes why, which is I feel like I'm doing a lot of the same things for various different reasons, but none of it ever feels meaningful. It's fun. The combat is great. The weapons are all entertaining. You do some weird little things in it that are fantastic, but it always kind of has that feel of, oh, go to the marker. There's going to be a fight there. Yeah, I won that fight. Okay, come back and talk to me. Oh, there's a fight over here. Go win that kind of thing.
oh, like
and it gets into
so they can like make a joke about it, but like you're still doing that annoying thing. Like, isn't this annoying sort of thing?
yeah, like to the point where again, minor spoilers, I guess, if you want to consider spoilers. But the last, you in Grand Theft Auto and all those style games, you always have like your contact person. You go through like 4 before you get to the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The last one, you even like walk in and you're like, oh. And she's like, oh, I'm not going to help you. Like, yes, you are. You're going to make me do some menial task that I really shouldn't be doing, and then you're going to love me. And then she's like, no, that's not how it's going to work. And in my mind, I went, oh, thank God, I don't have to do any more of that shit. We can just move on. And then he's like, I just don't like you. And then it stops the cutscene, and he has like the inner monologue go, what would she like me to do? I should probably just figure this out and do it for her anyway. And it's like, oh, you just made this joke about how this is what's going to happen. Then you kind of had this like good moment of like, but we're not going to go down that road. And I was like, oh no, we are.
Oh, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
See, that's one of those things. Like, I feel like that's sort of that like next gen sort of. We talked about this Titanfall 2. I like talk about this all the time. It's like, oh, this would be great for a sequel because they could go crazy with that. That sort of thing. Like it seems because this was like Insomniac's like first open world game, so I could see that like shit. If we're gonna do this, like Second Son, I felt like you had that sort of cyclical thing. But they never made a joke about it. It's like okay, all right, I just kept doing it over and over again. This one could at least joke about it, and the next one then they could actually start doing all that sort of like getting crazy with it because now they have the budget and they have the skill to do that. But I don't know. Hopefully, they get another chance to do it because it would be great if there's jokes like that. Where like, okay, this is what games did. This is what Sunset Overdrive is gonna do.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it just I thoroughly enjoy my time with it, but it gets into that repetitive nature, and because the narrative really isn't there, the narrative is basically evil company made people zombies, walls off city, you try and get out. That's essentially the extent of the story for 10 hours. There's really no difference at all. In fact, I think you spend almost half the game just trying to build a plane.
Oh.
Which is go here to get the propeller. Go here. Oh, nope, now this broke. Go here and get this. But you spend probably about half-ish of the game is just trying to build this plane to get out.
Oh, that's kind of a bummer. But it is like the moment to moment. Well, it is. Well, I can understand it gets repetitive after a while, but it's like the moment to moment gameplay pretty cool because it looked a lot like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it feels very much like Tony Hawk. It feels. And again, playing this at this point versus when it first came out, knowing that Insomniac has, I don't believe it's the same team, but knowing that they have people working on Spiderman.
Oh,
you can definitely like playing this in my mind. I'm going like, I don't care if it's the same team, but I'm sure they're smart enough to come talk to these guys because this feels like what a Spider-Man game should feel like.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Which is cool. Just the city traversal part of it because you're doing a lot of, you can bounce off cars. So cars are essentially trampolines in this. So you're just jumping across the city and then you grind on a rail for a bit, jump off, jump on a car, grind. It has very, very good city traversal in this that I think would lend itself really well to whatever they're doing with Spider-Man. Whether or not, I don't believe it's the same exact team working on it.
Oh, no, it is. It is actually. It's a Sunset Overdrive team.
Oh, it is the Sunset? Oh,
yeah.
Well, in that case, that game's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, actually, the Ratchet and Clank like PS4 game was the B team. Like,
which is so weird.
Yeah, like they made 2 really cool games. I was actually almost disappointed that Insomniac was doing Spider-Man. I mean, it's cool. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a great Spider-Man game, but it's like I'd rather have Sunset Overdrive 2 or maybe whatever else.
When and if you play this, if you play it in the mindset of like these guys are making a Spider-Man, this feels like that audition for it.
Oh,
like,
okay.
the smart-ass teenage character who's kind of silly but also kind of knows what's going on and is secretly trying to be a hero. Like, it has all of the elements of a good Spider-Man story in this game, which just in my mind, like, as I'm playing this, is like, they made this as an audition to make Spider-Man.
Oh.
Like, somebody said, like, oh, there's a chance you make Spider-Man. They're like, we'll make this game. It's pretty much like Spider-Man. Then we'll get to make Spider-Man.
I mean, is it more because like I think the rumor for a long time was that Sucker Punch is going to be doing it. So is this a better superhero game than Sucker Punch's infamous Second Light or Second Son? That's what it is.
Not as good of a superhero game, but better open world feeling game.
Okay.
This feels like a game. If I guess in my mind, your question you're asking is which one lends itself better to a Spider-Man game, and this lends itself much better than Sucker Punch's Infamous does.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I felt like Second Son, like as much as I played it, it never felt like it felt like the city was very much Seattle, and it wasn't quite designed for gameplay necessarily.
Yes,
I never felt like I was like really running around and dash until you got like that purple dash. I think Infamous First Light, the one you play as what's her name? I don't remember her name. The one girl.
Neon Power.
The what?
Neon Power.
Neon Power. Yeah, when you play as Neon Power Girl, and you're running around the city like that felt really good, but that's not what most of Second Son felt like.
Yes.
Well, from what I hear, like this, like Sunset Overdrive, like from the outset, I'm sure you get like better, faster powers later. Is like that full traversal, hopping around, jumping around, all that stuff.
Yeah. Again, like getting across from one spot to another is easy. It's well designed. There's always enough stuff like to mess with it. Okay, I need to bounce off these 3 cars and I can hit this. And you get to the point where by the time you're wall running and grinding and all this other stuff where you can go long distances without hitting the ground. And it just feels very fluid. It feels like the movement in the game should feel where you are this type of character.
And I guess the last question, is it automated? Like, because I know Assassin's Creed does that and I find Assassin's Creed boring as shit.
No, I don't like Assassin's Creed either. This is very much you have to time it right when you're going to grind. You have to, if you're looking at when you're going to bounce the car, the camera kind of tilts up a little bit and you just get like a little circle of where you're going to land and you have to make sure that's on the car or boat or whatever you're going to bounce off of. So it's very much not automated. I mean, it's not difficult, but it's not just like hold A to run fast and look cool.
Oh, but if you screw up, you can screw up.
Yes, you can for sure screw up. And there were several times where there's buildings you have to climb and stuff like that, and you'll fall down and go, oh, shit, damn it, now I gotta do this whole thing again.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. I like that. I'm glad they sort of pseudo-punish you at least, because I like sort of semi, challenging, I guess, platforming. All right, last question. Final thing, and we can wrap this all up. Are you more excited for Spider-Man, a new Ratchet and Clank, or Sunset Overdrive 2?
Being a giant Spider-Man fan, Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Because Spider-Man's there's too many damn Spider-Man games. Like it's like, okay, I'm sure it's pretty good.
Okay, yeah, but you say that, but when was the last good Spider-Man game?
They've been okay. Like they haven't been terrible.
But when was the last good one?
I really like that. Actually, I really liked Ultimate Spider-Man on PS2. People didn't play that one. I like that one a lot.
I was gonna say PS2. Like I think it's like Spider-Man 2. I believe was the good one. The movie tie-in game was pretty damn cool.
Some of the other ones actually have been pretty good. Like some of the PS3 ones were pretty good. Like the way he plays like Noir Spider-Man and stuff. I never played them, but I've heard they were pretty good. Like I don't know. I just feel like Spider-Man doesn't need a huge comeback. Like, there's other superheroes who need a good game. Spider-Man's had like so many games. It's hard to get excited about it, I think.
That's true. But again, like to me, looking at this as I was playing it, my thought kept going to they're gonna make a damn cool Spider-Man game if they can do this.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, we are Workforce Gaming. If you like what you heard, you can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter. You subscribe to us on YouTube. On Twitter, we are at Workforce Gaming. You can just click subscribe, comment. If you guys comment, we like 9 times out of 10 respond to whatever people say, unless you're being a jerk. And even then,
there are lots of times where Doug texts me or whatever. Is like, just got to comment on this video. Guy's an asshole. Don't respond.
Dude, I'm gonna have to cut that part out.
Yeah, probably should cut that part out. That would probably be mean.
If I have had a few drinks, sometimes I will respond to those as well. All right, if you guys, see you next week.
Bye.